All right, now front-end rounding requires us to only target the number that's farthest to the left, the place value farthest to the left is how we use front-end rounding, all right? Now, front-end rounding, you can decide how useful it is, but it's different than focusing on specific place values because we don't really care what the place value is farthest to the left. That's just all we're doing, okay? So it doesn't have to tell us what place value to focus on. We just know by looking at the number that we're focusing or rounding to the nearest value for the place value farthest to the left, okay? So that, yeah, and that's what this says right here. Identify the front digit, which is the furthest to the left digit. And we shouldn't say any zeros furthest to the left. Because again, if it's a zero furthest to the left, it would indicate that there's nothing in that place value. So it really shouldn't show up. And you can call that a phantom zero if you'd like. And then to look at the value to the right of that, just like we did with specific place value rounding on those last 5 examples. And then, look to the right. If it's 5 or more, you round up or add 1 to that front digit. If it's less than 5, you just keep that digit the same and then change all the values to the right of that digit in that specific place value to zeros. To me, I think front-end rounding is convenient, again, just because we don't have to think about, well, where is the place value that I'm rounding to? With front-end rounding, it tells you where to round to without having to find it, because it's just the number farthest, or digit farthest to the left. So round using front-end rounding. We got 4 examples here. And again, we don't need it to tell us, hey, round to the nearest thousands or hundreds or tens, because front-end rounding is just rounding to the digit farthest to the left. All right, so front-end rounding, this first number here is 68,241. And we are going to use some front-end rounding for this. And the front number, or the number digit farthest to the left here, is 6. Okay? So now that I've identified the front end that I'm rounding to, I look to the place value immediately to its right. And with front-end rounding, I don't really care what place value is farther next to the right. I mean, we know this is the thousands place value, but I'm really focusing on that digit right there. That's an 8. 8 is more than 5, which means in the front end place value, which is the 10,000s for this specific example, I need to add 1. I need to add 1 to that 6. All right? And again, that's because the 8 in the place value to its right is 5 or more. And 6 plus 1 is 7. And once again, I'm just going to change any place values to its right with zeros. And it looks like we got 4 of those place values. So the thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones place values then become zeros. And we end with 70,000. So 68,241 is closer to 70,000 than it is to 60,000. Next up, this is 203. And again, it doesn't have to tell us where to round when it says front-end rounding. We just focus on the digit farthest to the left, which in this case is the 2. So I've identified the digit farthest to the left. I know it's in the hundreds place value. And so I look immediately to the right of that place value and find 0. Well, that 0 is less than 5, which means that our target place value, which is the front end, the 2, in the hundreds place value is going to stay a 2. And then all the other digits to its right become zeros. Or stay zeros in this case. So 203 rounds to 200 as its nearest front-end rounding place value. So 12, let's focus in here. And we are still using front-end rounding. The number farthest to the left here is the 1 in the tens place value. So I look immediately to its right, I get a 2. And once again, 2 is less than 5. So the 1 in the tens place value is going to stay a 1. And then anything to its right which is only the ones place value in this case, becomes a 0. So 12, if we front end round to 12, it becomes 10. Then 4,117, again, the front end is the 4. It's the digit farthest to the left. That's in the thousands place value. Immediately to its right is a 1. Okay, that 1 is in the hundreds place value. Since it's less than 5, the 4 also is going to stay the same as 4, and then all the other place values will become zeros. So this ends up being, well, 4,000. All right, and that is front-end rounding.